Donc, nous avons une quinzaine de minutes pour vos questions. Je vous demanderai de poser des questions générales et brèves et de vous rendre au kiosque des conseils scolaires pour des questions qui vous concernent personnellement.
We have a few minutes for questions and answers. I would ask that you keep your questions to more generic and brief. And if you have any questions that pertain to your specific situations, if you talk to the booths at the end after the presentations.
Hi, my name is Erin. I have a soon-to-be 4-year-old who'll be starting kindergarten in September. And I'm just wondering from the board's generic question about going to a school outside of your child's district. You all have very impressive statistics for your standardized testing, but I know individual schools can be very different, so sort of what's the process there, if anyone can answer?
In the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, we have a cross-boundary application process. So you would simply go to the school that is your child's designated school or your home school and complete an application to attend another school.
Au Conseil des écoles publiques de l'Est de l'Ontario, nous avons également une politique concernant la fréquentation hors secteur. Donc, les parents qui désiraient que leur enfant fréquente une école hors secteur, c'est une possibilité. Par contre, au niveau du transport scolaire, les parents doivent en assumer la responsabilité s'ils veulent que leur enfant fréquente une école dans une autre zone.
I would add very similar. Every school board probably has some form of cross-boundary. That's what we call them. For us, typically the request would be because of childcare reasons. So it wouldn't be because we prefer another school. It really is typically about childcare reasons, with the childcare not being in your home school. But there are individual cases, so we're giving you a very general answer. We would look at each case by case, but generally it's for childcare.
C'est la même chose pour le Conseil catholique. One of the options also is if as a parent you have une garderie where your child is being kept after or before school, that address can become the one for that other sector of school, so that you can be eligible for that second school, knowing that you have an address where your children are kept before and after school.
If you don't meet all the criteria for a school board, can you apply to 2 school boards, or to see if you don't, your child doesn't get accepted, to go into the other one? Si si ton enfant ou tu vois pas tous les critères nécessaires pour le school board, tu peux-tu l'envoyer ou appliquer pour un différent ou 2 en même temps?
Oui, en fait, les critères, c'est de la langue et la catholicité. Donc, à ce moment-là, si vous n'avez pas le baptême, comme je disais un peu plus tôt, soit le père ou l'enfant, ça peut être un critère qui vous empêche d'aller à l'école catholique. Par contre, même pour les parents qui ne sont pas baptisés, ni leurs enfants, nous avons accueilli des familles qui ont manifesté auprès de leur paroisse le désir de se baptiser comme adultes ou de baptiser leur enfant, puis on les a accompagnés là-dedans. Donc, c'est une certaine possibilité, mais oui, yes, you can register to more than one school board, but you got to make up your mind pretty quickly.
There would be no criteria that you wouldn't meet to register in the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, so that wouldn't be an issue. The one thing is, though, when you cannot register in more than one school, because every student is given a student number in the province of Ontario, and you can only be registered in one school at a time.
Donc, c'est la même réponse que mes collègues. Donc, oui, c'est possible de faire une demande d'inscription à plus d'un conseil scolaire, dépendant des critères d'éligibilité. Mais ensuite, ce qu'on vous suggérait, c'est de faire un choix le plus rapidement suite à ces demandes d'inscription, de façon à faciliter notre travail au niveau de la dotation pour qu'on mette en place le meilleur personnel pour accompagner vos enfants.
I don't really have anything to add other than probably what I didn't mention in Ottawa Catholic, for those of you wondering about admissions, is typically the child would have been baptized or one of the parents. We also have space availability for non-Catholics, and the sooner you come to the school and register, the sooner we can confirm that you do that. And as I would echo my colleagues, if you are doing that and we recognize why you do that, once you make a decision, please let us know, because all of our staffing depends on registrations.
Yes, this is for the two French boards. For the ALF program, can you describe how you implement that in the early years? Because when I do look at some of the statistics, I do see differences in the rates of the ALF participation, although I'm seeing some similar rates of first language other than French. So board-wide, is there decisions made in terms of integration or grouping by abilities, that type of thing?
Oui, tout à fait. Le programme d'actualisation linguistique du français, le programme ALF, is a program that we have in our French schools that help students to acquire the language, and there's different levels of support. Thank you. Different levels of support for depending on the needs of the child. So there is an assessment once the child is enrolled, and he's either level 1, level 2, level 3, where the support can be either almost to a half a day to an hour a week, depending on where your child or the student is in his learning curve on the language issue. So, and every school has that program. So we help those students as soon as possible, even JK and through K and in grade 1, where these students have that support.
And is that something that's offered as a withdrawal, or is that something that's where in your, let's say, more Anglophone communities, you're grouping by class, or?
Depending on the support, some students are withdrawn from class to half a day if they have no language at all, so that they can rapidly have. We would expect that a child, when he gets into kindergarten, should have between 1,400 and 1,500 words that he can communicate with. So we try to get them as soon as possible. So we only have time, and the time we have, and the earlier we get to them, will help them certainly acquire the language. So some of them are pulled out for a short period of time, and then now it's from grade 1, and then some are just within the classroom with some professionals helping out.
So as my colleague mentioned, a lot of the same stuff in our school board. So we offer programs of ALF, actualisation linguistique en français, in all our schools. For some students where there might be bigger gaps or bigger difficulties, we can withdraw them in small groups to work on certain strategies. But I can say that a lot of the strategies that are mentioned and promoted in the program for actualisation linguistique, we integrate for all our students. Because obviously we live in Ontario, it's a very Anglophone environment, so a lot of our students do benefit from that extra little help with vocabulary and strategies, so it's very seamlessly integrated to support all our students. And if we look at the demographics, a lot of our students who enter school, French is not necessarily their first language, it might be a second or a third language, but by the time they get to grade 3, we have fantastic results on provincial testing, which shows that the strategies that we put in place with the kids through those early years do help them develop the competencies in French that they need to succeed.
You talked about the International Baccalaureate program, and I'm just wondering if there are any other sort of advanced placement type programs that run in the other school boards and or the IB program.
In the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, we offer the IB program as well. We offer schools that focus on the arts, on School for Elite Athletes. We have gifted programs that run from grade 1 to grade 12.
Ottawa Catholic is currently not offering an International Baccalaureate program, but each one of our high schools offer, you can access all programs at all high schools. What is different is there is a program in the province of Ontario called SHISM, Specialist High Skills Major. So one may be in the area of environment, one may be in the area of wellness, etc. So visual arts. And though that may not be at your home school, if your child at that time, and good for you for thinking ahead, can access that program at another school, we would provide that opportunity. And as I said earlier, every single child comes with gifts and talents and challenges, and it is our responsibility in every single school to support them. So we would offer challenges to everyone. And we do work very closely with our universities and colleges so that we have programs, in fact, where we have students in high school getting college credits already. So we do quite a bit of those types of transitions, again, in collaboration with my colleagues from the other boards.
Same answer. I'd say our high schools are defined the same way with a different characteristic. At the elementary level, we do have a balanced school year calendar school in Riverside South, which is new for the last 4 years now. We've been testing this kind of calendar where students go 1 week more in June and are 2 weeks earlier than others in August and have breaks throughout the year. So it's a balanced calendar. And we also have personalized learning style 3 schools that are in that environment. And you can all have the information in the booth anyways for either of the school boards.
What defines the home school? Is it within a few kilometer radius, or is it strictly the list which is provided by the school locator in the website? So that's number one. And the other question which I had was, if we are not sure, if you're not very sure if we would still be in Ottawa in September due to job reasons, for example, then when should we register? Like, I would like to register now, but would it be a problem to withdraw later on?
I think I can speak for all boards on this question that it would not be a problem if you registered now and had to withdraw later on. And it would be the school locator on your board's website that would help you to determine your home school.
So is it strictly by that? Like if it lists 2 schools, for example, that's what I'm seeing as per the requirement. So only those schools are considered as within my area?
Yes, one might be an immersion school and one might be an alternative school or a regular English school. So you would have a choice about the school that you would attend if more than one school was listed.
While I recognize all the benefits of full-day kindergarten, for children who are coming not from a daycare environment, are there options for going for a half-day, or is that too disruptive to the classroom?
In the Ottawa-Carleton District School Board, you have that option as a parent to decide to send your child for a half-day or for a flexible kind of week. You might want to send for 3 out of 5 days. That's a decision that you as a parent have the right to make.
I can speak in our board that pretty much all our students do come for the full day. Even though those who didn't have the experience in daycare before coming to school, the new way that we work in kindergarten now with play-based learning is quite different. So we're not sitting them at desks for a whole day, giving them essays to write and leaving them going home with a big bag full of homework. So they come, they have fun, they play. So most students, you would have to tear them away at lunch if you wanted to bring them home. So it's not something that we've noticed that seems to be a problem for the kids.
We'd like to thank all our speakers tonight for helping make this a successful event. We would also like to thank you for your participation and engagement in your child's education. Please watch your email for an evaluation form, and we encourage you to fill it out as it will help us to plan for next year's event. There is also some forms on your seat, so if you'd rather do a paper copy right now, we'd appreciate that as well, and you can hand it to some of the ladies on your way out. We'll also send you out a link to the YouTube video with tonight's information. Have a safe journey back home and all the best to you and your family while you're preparing them for this first school experience.
Donc, nous remercions tous les présentateurs et partenaires qui ont contribué au succès de cette soirée. Nous vous remercions également pour votre présence qui témoigne de votre intérêt et engagement dans l'éducation de vos enfants. Surveillez vos courriels car vous recevrez sous peu une évaluation électronique à nous retourner. Ceci nous aidera à planifier le prochain événement de l'an prochain. Il y a aussi certaines évaluations sur les chaises, donc si vous préférez remplir une copie papier, vous pouvez le faire sur place. Il y aura des personnes à la porte à qui vous pourrez le remettre. Nous vous enverrons également le lien pour la vidéo de la soirée qui sera sur YouTube. Bon retour chez vous et surtout, bonne préparation à l'école pour toutes vos familles. Merci encore.